Once again, welcome everyone to Friday Spotlight feature. Today, the feature would be group management and attendance management. That's two feature in there. Okay, you got two for the price of one. All right, now, let's get started. Move this out of the way. Okay, today's agenda. Under group management, we'll talk about how to set up an intake group, how to assign students to the intake group, and also how to bulk enroll student into a class timetable. Okay, and then the next feature would be attendance management, where I showed you how you can record your daily attendance as well as record it on a weekly basis. All right, now let's start with group management. When you are setting up your timetable and meeting student and all that, have you ever wondered if I can group the students of the same criteria, same start date, student that has a similar condition into one group? Can we do that in RTO Manager? Have you ever thought of that? And when you're assigning timetable, have you ever thought of, are you able to, if only I can assign timetable to a group of students of the same criteria. Say this group of students going to go into the same class. Can I do them all in one row? Or I don't know, at this stage, how are you managing it? Maybe you're doing assigning them one by one. So in RTO Manager, these two questions is yes. All right. Yes, you can group students of the same criteria into the same group. And yes, you can assign a timetable to a group of students. Okay. Now, how do we do that? Let me quickly show you. So to set up a group, you first go to compliance and choose the option group management. Okay, this will take you to, I refer this second line here. Oops, sorry. Oh my God. Okay, compliance, once again, group management. This line here, I referred them as my sub menu. Okay, once you choose group management, come to your sub menu, select your first menu, click here, set up intake group. So you can give it a name. So for example, I'm going to call it my 2024 July intake 1. Okay, make sure you select your course type to that. If you only have that one course type, then you don't have to worry. Because this is an in-house system, so I have access to a few different course type. So I'm going to set it as that. You can, over here, make a choice. Okay, courses. If you want to say, I don't mind, I just want to group all of the student from different discipline into one course, you can do that. All right. For this course example, I'm going to group them into individual courses so that students of the same course will go into one group. So it's up to you if you want to group them all of your courses into one group, or you want to separate them into different groups. It's up to you at this point. Okay. So say, for example, I have set up a course that says is jewelry manufacture. I'm creating the group today. You can put in a description here if you like. I'm going to leave it as it is and just create a group. Okay. I can then go in and say, because I set up two courses, I can go in and create another course, another group for this certificate in kitchen management. Okay. Same thing, but in this case, I won't call it Jewel Intake 1 anymore. All right. I'll probably call it July Kit Manage Intake 1. Why I say keep intake 1? Because I could have another intake in July, intake 2 in July that I want to create another group. So I just want to make this group. This group ID has to make sense to you. Okay, you have to know which group belongs to what. And then if I click that, see how here now I already created this group. All right, this is step 1. Now, step 2, I'm going in to assign the student to the group. So I just come over to the sub menu, select this icon over here. Now I go straight into here and I will choose not assign student because at this moment I'm assigning student into a group. So I won't use assigned students. I will choose the not assigned. And in this search for the criteria 2024, you can choose, if you already know that your student is at certain status, you can choose them. But I usually just leave it as all status so I can scoop up any student in case I have some missing students. Okay. So over here, because again, this is an in-house system, so that's why I have a lot of access to a lot of other campus. But if you only have that one campus, don't worry because it will only be defaulted at that. Okay. Group ID, this is the group that we've previously created under this group. So you now would have dropped down because I have previously created a few groups. So you see all the groups that I've created is now listed down here. So pick the group that you want to work with. Say, for example, I want to work with my July Jewel Intake 1 group, which is this one. And it knows that it has quickly defaulted to pick up because this is the course that I wanted to do. Now, in terms of date range, you can push it out. I'm going to push it out to, usually I like to push it out to a wider range to make sure that I scoop up everyone. Okay, I can even go all the way back up to like the start date from January if I want. But I know my student has not gone that far back, so I'm starting from here. So these 3 students are the ones that I've created for this particular course. So I can go and click this group, this icon, select all of them. I can also select only 1 or 2 of them. Say, for example, for this course, they might have pull in and start that slightly different criteria student. So the concept here is to put everyone of the same criteria into the one group. Okay. So I have set up all my students to start on the same intake date to do the same class. So I can put them all into one group. All right. Once I selected them, I just need to click in this icon here, say assign. So I've assigned my 3 students into this group ID called 24 July Jewel Intake 1. Okay, let's do that again. Same thing. And now I want to assign into my kitchen management group. Okay, likewise, see how I have previously set up a student and then I set up 3 other students. So all 4 of them is now in this intake. Okay, but notice how the student ID is a little bit different. This student is actually set up for a different purposes. So in this case, I'm not going to select all to put them into my group, but I'm only just going to select the last 3. So I can simply do that, not using the select all icon, select the last 3, same thing, click assign. Okay, so now I've assigned the 3 students to this particular intake group. Now, step 3. I've already assigned all my students to the respective group. Now the concept is I want to enroll the student by groups into the already set timetable. Okay, so it's that step 3, I come into here, bulk enroll by group. Okay, so you have the option of enrolling them by groups or you can enroll them by subject. Okay, disregard these 2 options because again, they are for separate purposes. We're focusing, let's do one by group. So if I select by group, over here, search type is by group. Again, I have to set up my criteria. It's my vet courses. And then what course am I selecting and enrolling them into? I'm going to enroll them into my jewelry management. And if I have many groups set up, you will have the list. At this stage, I only have the one group set up. Okay, so looks like my group ID student is not being set up correctly. Okay, student is set up all. Okay, now over here, I pull up my student. So group term 3. Okay, immediately it will go in and pull out the timetable that we previously set up, which is for this particular subject. We just need to select the group, the batch that this timetable was set up, which is here. Okay, and all the criteria will be based on how I set up my timetable. I just need to go Bob assign. Okay, so I've assigned student AA into this particular timetable. Okay, so if I do it again, say by group, and let's see if I have better luck here. Okay, so this is okay. So here, see, I make a mistake. This is a good example, good time to show you that even though if I set up the group, from here, we have a filter student type. Okay, so if I quickly toggle back to my manufactured jewelry, see how I enrolled my student into, there's 3 students that has been enrolled into this group. But out of this group, 1 student is an international student, okay, which you say student AA here. And then the other 2 students was actually a local student. So the system is smart enough to actually segregate them that way. So hence, if I put them into one group, now I have to choose between student. Now I can go into the local student group. Over here, term 3, I can repeat the same process and assign them. Okay, so now all 3 students has been assigned into the respective class. All right, so if I do this again and go into, say, kitchen management, all right, but this time I'm not going to enroll them by group. I want to enroll them by subject. So there could be various different subjects in here. Okay, kitchen management. This is the semesters that I want them to be. Okay, and then okay, see, I bring up my group of students. Over here, if you enroll student by subject, there's an option, say new student or continuing student. So in this case, I'm enrolling brand new students, so I have to change them into a new student status. But if you're enrolling, if your group is an existing group that is doing the next subject of the course, then you will want to change them into continuing student. Okay, so same thing by here, I can arrange by subject, change my term. Okay, I have to then look for the subject that I want to enroll them into, and then just bulk up row. See how I have already enrolled them into that specific subject. Now, how do we verify that they are in fact being enrolled? I can quickly come in here into student, search any one of my students, for example, student AA, just go drilled into the student profile. Under in here, you will see that the student has been assigned into the course. Okay, and if we go into results, you see that this course, this subject has been assigned to allocate to this student profile. Okay, once you see it there, that means that they will have access to the timetable. Okay, so this is how we would have grouped this, create the group, assign student to the group, and then bulk enroll them either by group or by subject. So if I toggle to by subject, essentially it's the same place. So you can either use this option to toggle between by groups or by subject, or you can use the sub menu. Okay, so moving along, how do we record timetable? Now that we have assigned timetable to the student, okay, so we can just go in here, timetable, and then first we can print out the attendance list. So from here, go into print attendance list, choose my course. Say, for example, I'm looking for certificate 4, term 3, okay? And then I only have that one, all right? Class is the July batch, current student, or if you want to scoop, just to make sure you scoop everyone up, it's all student and view. So in this case, there's only 3 students that is being registered allocate into this timetable. Then there is this way you can generate this attendance list in the PDF format. Okay, so if I bring this up, all right, so this is how the attendance list look like. I mean, our RTO manager's attendance list look like. I've set up to mark 2 hourly in terms of attendance and all the students. So depending on how many students has been assigned, it will all be listed down here. So you will then print this piece of paper and then give it to your teacher. So Monday, Tuesday, the class is set up for Monday and Tuesday. So teacher would have take this piece of paper and then mark off the attendance list as per here. So once they finish marking the attendance list, they can just send it back to your admin team, and then the admin team will then backfill the data into RTO manager. This is one way, okay? So this is what I call the very manual way. And there is a semi-automatic way of doing it is to produce it in an Excel format. So Excel format, do the same thing, select here, and then click class attendance. And if I open up the Excel format, sorry, my system is a little bit slow in terms of opening. Okay, see, now that it's opened, you know that how this one actually looks very similar to the PDF, except that it's in an Excel format. Okay, so why do I say this is semi-automatic? I'm assuming that you might have a shared drive with your teacher in your system. So you can then chuck this Excel spreadsheet into your shared drive. All they need to do is come into the shared drive, load this file up, mark the attendance, save it into the shared drive, and then your admin team can go into the shared drive again, pick up whatever that is listed, that has been marked. Okay. Of course, you can also print this out as a paper format to give it to your teacher as well. So whichever way you like, but just having that this is an Excel file, then, you know, putting in a shared drive, putting into your OneDrive that you can share between, you know, now that with the OneDrive function, you can share it with a teacher, which is quite simple in that way. Okay, I have a question here says, can we do one with ELICOurse? Unfortunately, I did not set up the data up for ELICOurse student. So the concept would be very much the same. whatever the function that I showed you there, you can pretty much do that. But say if you need us to really go through it, then maybe I can take down your name, Kiram, and then we can organize a time to walk it through. Okay, Kiram, I hope you don't mind. Okay, so now that we have showed you how to print the attendance sheets, then we want to come back and mark the attendance. Okay, so there is we go into compliance and then go into attendance management. Okay, so now I'm not going to be able to pull up any data for those particular courses on the dates. Okay, but I did have some other classes that I've set up. So I just need to choose that. Again, I have to choose the semesters. This is where my calendar has been set up. My calendar's name is called 204 certificate course. And from here, I can then choose from what date. Okay, so if I have previously, okay, let me rephrase. At this page, under class attendance, this is how you mark your attendance, your daily attendance, okay? It let you choose the week. Say, for example, in this particular week. And then on Monday, okay, there is actually a class that was set up for this particular course, okay? I can go check attendance because I have not set up any student for this particular day. Okay. All right. See, I have no student because I have not set up any student for these classes. Hence, that's why it's not showing, it's not going to give me anything per se. Okay, let me see if I have any luck here. Okay, I have that one student. So for example, this is the class. We can select it. It gives us the criteria of the whole week, but then you can go in and select by day because it will pull up the date by day. Okay. And then if you it will just bring up if this student has been attending, then all you need to do, you will receive your attendance list from your teacher. And all you need to do is just to mark off. If this student is good, they come in at the same time, like there is no irregularity in terms of their attendance, you can simply use the top box to mark it. Okay. But if, say, for example, student is okay, but on this particular day, the student actually leave early. Okay. So it actually let you mark either in a broad sense or by the hour, or it can let you drill in and mark by, into smaller integrals. So in terms, say, instead of 5:50, this student maybe has left at 4:45. Okay, so if teacher has paid attention to this granular level, then we can also mark it off. So that way, the attendance rate will be calculated more accurate. All right. So once we do that, we just click record attendance. Then this record has been marked. If at any chance that the teacher actually said, I marked it wrong, the student actually did finish at 5 o'clock, then just come back here, click on this icon, okay? And then here, just say, change this to 5. Okay, so that way we have amended our record, and then just click mark attendance, then this attendance will have been marked for this student. Okay, so this is how we mark them day by day. We can just go through each day, so depending on how your timetable is set up, and then you can select by the subject, how many subjects that has been set. Your list would be a lot longer than this, because you would have more courses, more subjects that has been set up throughout the week. Then you can mark them by the day and then by the subject. Okay, so if this is a little bit too troublesome for you, then you have the other option is, if you come down to the sub menu here, go into bulk attendance. Okay, this one, again, I'm going to focus in that. I do apologize for those that comes in terms of ELICOS, the process is actually the same. Okay, so I just need to select my, instead of selecting subject, I can then say go in and say maybe select my course, and then I can go in and say select and see if I have any. Okay, so I'm selecting my course, and now when you look at this, it's a little bit different. The layout is, because this is only marked in a weekly format. Okay, so essentially it doesn't break down into Monday, Tuesday, Friday, Monday, Tuesday to Friday. So it tells you in a week, how many hours should a student do? So I will just select, so in this case, I only have that one student. I can mark them one by one. If you have a list of 10, you can mark them all if they're all the same. Or if they have variation, then you might want to select the one student that record them one by one. So I can select here and says that my total class hours should be 20. This is what I've set up for them to run. In terms of all the, in 1 week, they're supposed to do 20. Okay, so once I click that, see how this is changed 20. If I have a list of 50 students, once I click 20, then all 50 of them would have been recorded for 20. But in terms of attended hours, this is the one that is a little bit tricky. For a week, if my class hours is 20, obviously I would have expected them to attend 20 hours of class. Okay, but then same thing if I do that and then step away, so it will record it. So that means that this student has attended full 100% of that week. But if the student says that, instead of full 20 hours, maybe here and there the student has missed out 2 hours, then you can then, instead of 20, so for this student, I can go in and amend it to be, say, 20 hours. Okay, so that way they should have attended 20 hours, but for this particular student one, they only attended 18 hours. This is total hours in a week. Okay, and then other hours, again, you can leave it as blank. Other hours mean maybe you can have, if you have set up some extra study time for this particular student or for this group of students, you can record it as other hours. All right, which is, these are hours that are out of the norm. Okay, so for example, if you have, let's say we have a public holiday on Monday and it was supposed to be running on a very important subject. So you guys can decide and say, hey, let's do a markup course, a 1 hour makeup class for this particular group of students, so that they can cover it and make sure that they are not lagged out. So then you can mark, say, extra hours for this week. Instead of 20, you have an extra hours of 1 hour, and then you can mark it. So if you don't have, everything is per normal 20 hours week, attended 20 hours, just leave it as per. So this other hours does not need to go in, does not need to be filled. Okay. So once you have fully marked this, you just need to click this icon here, then the attendance has been updated, will be marked against the student. Okay, so if I want to go in here to come and then combine back to the student. Okay, so in terms of attendance, okay, see over here for this particular week, we have marked they have attended 18 hours, but the class hours was 20. So it actually gives you, this will help you in terms of running your reports to see how the student has been performing in terms of their attendance. Okay, so this would be Okay, so this is pretty much what I have covered in terms of the features that I've just gone through. In terms of group management, these 3 steps takes you through each step how you create your group, how you assign the student, and how you assign timetable to the designated student groups. Okay, this is for group management, and the next part would be for attendance management. So we will send this, we will distribute this PowerPoint to you guys after the session. Okay, and then this would pretty much take me to the end of my session. All right, thank you very much, everyone. If you have any suggestions in terms of what features you like us to show, please drop us an email, or you can put this in the chat as well, so that way we know. Okay, and in terms of your question, if you have any other questions, please still post it in your chat, and then we're more than happy to answer you at the end of the session or after the session. Okay. So thank you very much, everyone. Hope you find this useful. Bye. Have a nice weekend. Thank you. Thank you. Bye.